Peace, y'all. Peace. You know, a lot of people are into the spiritual life strictly for the perks. And what do I mean by the perks? The perks are they want a new lover, they want some money, they might want, you know, to curse somebody, to hex somebody, right? And they're strictly in there for mainly those three things: some money to receive something, um, or a lover to get some love, or to hack somebody, or to protect themselves. So they're in there for the perks, right? Now, in Magic, of course, you could be totally ignorant, and you could perform spells, and you could perform ritual using mathematic equations, the equations that create the things that you want to manifest, the equations that create the things that you want, using certain formulas. For instance, Ogun likes iron, right? There's certain pentacles, there's certain deities you could petition, right? Saint Expedite, with his, his sweet loaf bread, things like that. With his pound cake, things like that. So there's formulas for each one of these deities. So anyone could come off the street, right? Do 1 + 1 = 2 with these formulas and create things. They create what you call magic, manifestations, do things, right? And a lot of times when people come into this lifestyle, they've done these equations. These equations have manifested, and that's their take on magic, just performing equations. Now, the key really to magic is to not really have to perform these type of equations, not really have to do ritual at all, right? Not really have to do ritual at all. And I don't mean at all as in not doing ritual in order to manifest things, or in order to petition your ancestors, or in order to pay homage to the universe, right? To the creative forces, to nature, things like that. There's nothing wrong with doing rituals. It's just like having a birthday party, right? It's just like celebration with your family. There's nothing wrong with those things. There's nothing wrong with performing those type of rituals. But if every full moon, every new moon, you feel like you have to perform equations in order to create and manifest the things that you want, then you are doing the wrong thing. What you should be doing is performing equations in order to manifest a better you. Because once you manifest a better you, you are now able to manifest your own internal powers to create the equation yourself. See, the whole goal is to become Kali, to become spiritual power, to become what Commissions call the Shechem, to become, what else do they call it in the Kabbalah? I believe it's Bina. To become spiritual power itself, right? Divine power itself. That is the goal, to rise up the tree of life, right? But some people are eating from the fruit of monkey see, monkey do. And they're not interested in developing their spirit. They're not interested in spiritual development. They're not interested in cleansing the chakras. They're not interested in past life regression. They're not interested in meditation. They're not interested in shadow work. They're merely interested in quick fixes and outcomes. And then they wonder why their manifestation powers work sometimes but don't work sometimes. They wonder why when they actually do perform the equations, they work sometimes and don't work the other times. While most of the times when they perform these equations, they're not successful, because they haven't done the spiritual development in order to intuit their own spells, their own rituals. There's rituals you could do: full moon, new moon, equinoxes, solstices, right? There's spell books, there's ritual books, there's all sorts of things. But the best rituals are those that you create yourself. The best spells are those that you come up with from your own mind. Those that are downloaded from the Akashic records, downloaded from Amen, downloaded from Amenta, downloaded from the darkness within, the place that you go when you are in your deepest sleep, when you are riding that Delta wave, right? Like you're riding Delta Airlines, right? That's when you're most sleeping, you're riding the Delta wave, just like a Delta airline. So you're astral traveling through the universe while you are sleeping. So that is really the source of power. And that's really the things that we should be focusing on ritualistic, religious sort of basis. The word religier, right? The root or the etymology of the word means to tie back, to bind back. So constantly, so this is why there's no real Western religion, because Western religion is not teaching you to bind back or to mend back to yourself. It's not teaching you to mend back to where you came from. You know, what's Beyonce's song? Find your way back. Black is king. Find your way back, right? Black is king. So you're not in religion. You're not binding back. You're not binding back to who you truly are. What you're doing in religion is you are looking outside of yourself. You're looking to Jesus. You're looking to Muhammad. You're looking to Moses. You're looking to Allah. You're looking to Abraham. You're looking to all these different Buddha. You're looking at all these different things as the God, as the deity, instead of looking at yourself as the God and the deity and looking at the thing or the person as a tool for utility, as something to utilize, as something to use as a weapon. But ultimately you wield the weapon. You are the person behind the trigger. You are the person ultimately with the gun, right? But it's you behind it. It's you, your mind, and your arm that's making the thing happen. And eventually you want to get to a point where you become a weapon yourself, right? Where you don't need a gun. Where you have the hand-to-hand skills to defend yourself without any weaponry. That's the goal, to be good with a gun or good out without a gun. That's a real warrior. So the goal in spirituality is to make yourself a weapon as well. To be able to think thoughts. To be able to charge your thoughts up with your own passion, with sexual energy, right? Het Heru, what you call Oshun. Het Heru or Hathor is the house of Horus. Het Heru, Het is house, and Horus, Heru, right? The hero, right? The Het Heru, the house of Heru or the house of Horus, is the testicles of the ovaries. This is your sexual energy. And when you are passionate about something, when you are joyous about something, right? I mean, just think about it. And there's nobody that's mad when they're about to have sex. There's nobody that's really upset while they're having sex. I mean, I guess you can have angry sex, right? That is true, but genuinely, you still are in the state of enjoyment, right? You're in the state of passion. So the ancient ones used the Hathor or the Het Heru was corresponding with the cow, which you see Beyonce was wearing the headdress in Black is King. Black is King again, right? So Beyonce was wearing the headdress in Black is King. So the cow was dealt with the semen, the seminal fluid, right? Or the fluid from the yoni, right? Yoni juice, right? And so those two things, or vaginal fluid, right? trying to say the most appropriate term, right? So vaginal fluid. So those two things were considered the storehouses of energy, the storehouses of powering up your visualizations. See, we live in the universe that, in this particular Milky Way universe on this planet Earth, it is a light and sound show. So it is what you see, right? What's coming in and how you perceive it. what's going out. It's what you hear, what's going in, and how you interpret it, what's going out, right? So it's always an inhale, exhale, push, pull, right? The law of correspondence as above, so below, right? The law of rhythm, up and down, inhale, exhale. So there's always that type of balance, a yin and yang in the universe. So the key is not to be caught in taking sides, even in that particular in that example, but the key is to know which side to use and when to use it. And you're basically going back to, so you're basically using, the ancestors knew that this sexual energy, or this joyous energy, or this energy of passion, right? Sex is fueled by passion, right? Lust, right? It's a powerful energy. It's an attracting energy. It's a magnetic energy. Lust is highly magnetic. What's more magnetic than lust, right? To bring two people together, right? To create that creates an actual another life. So you are the God. You are more powerful than the candle. You're more powerful than the ritual. You're more powerful than the herb. You're more powerful than the bath, right? You're more powerful than the deity. You're more powerful than the statue. The goal of doing all these things, doing the rituals that, hopefully you'll have set up for tomorrow on the full moon. The goal of doing these rituals to manifest things and to manifest changes in your life and to create changes in your life, right, is so that you ultimately become a better person. And as you go through time and space, as you raise your vibration and as you do things that make you better, do things that put you in a better position in life, do things that cause you to become abundant, that cause you to become wise, that cause you to become much more empathetic, much more compassionate, much more understanding of other people's perspective. Because see, the big reason why a lot of people don't understand other people's perspective is because they're caught up in between the yin and the yang. So they feel they have to either be yin or they have to either be yang. When you are not caught up in the yin and the yang, but you understand yin and yang and you understand duality, you realize that the answer is always duality. There's always a right and a wrong. There's always a poison and a cure. So you understand that duality must exist. So you don't really take sides. You see life for what it is. And you live life according to the principles of cause and effect, which is universal law. You live life according to the principles of cause and effect. That's why so-called Christ said the best law, if you know nothing else, is to treat thy neighbor as thyself. Because the law is that we are all interconnected. We are all right now breathing the same air and the same oxygen. It's all circulating all around the world. The same oxygen. We all in some capacity are drinking the same H2O, which fills our bodies. 75 to 85% of our bodies is H2O. So the whole goal is not to be perfect, not to be someone else, not to be the lower chakra, the reproductive, right? The lower chakra is the reproductive system. So not to be reproductive, not to be zombies, not to be copycats, not to just be focused on what's going on in the news. But let's keep sweating. Keep sweating, let me pause. But to channel enough energy on a day-to-day basis towards your dreams, towards your goals, towards your hopes, and towards your higher self, so that you make little bites at the elephant called life, so that you eventually devour the elephant. Because the story is what? How do you eat an elephant, right? So ancient African tale, I believe. The question is, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is a bite at a time. And that's what each day is. Each day is a bite at a time of self-development, a bite at a time of wholeness. So the more joy you develop towards righteousness, the more joy you develop towards helping your fellow man. Not your enemy. I'm not talking about love thy enemy, smite thy enemy, hurt thy enemy, destroy thy enemy, right? No mercy for thy enemy. I'm not talking about that. What I am talking about is those that you say you love, those that you claim are part of your tribe, those that you work with, those that you interact with. Your job is to be the son. Your job is to be the son of man, even when they are not. And the more you are the son of man, the more you rise up your tree of life, the more you take hold of your heart chakra and move your lower chakra energy up on a continuous basis, the more you will see growth, the more you will see development. This does not mean that you're not going to see hard times in your life, right? But if you're doing the right things, if you're programming yourself during the data times, 15 minutes, first 15 minutes of the day in the morning, last 15 minutes of the day at night, if you're programming yourself properly, sleeping, using binaural beats, sleeping with binaural beats, certain tones, theta, gamma, alpha, different wavelengths, right? Using them appropriately in order to prompt ideas, download thoughts, download visions, losing certain tones and frequencies the right way, meditating with certain tones and frequencies, and we're tapping into the energy, frequency, and vibrations of the universe. Because what the Kabbalion tells us is everything vibrates. Nothing stays still. Everything vibrates. So if everything vibrates, then that means that the things that you want to create are within you. If you're vibrating and you're one with the universe, that means the power of the ritual that you're doing for the thing that you want to manifest is already within you. All you're doing is fine-tuning through the ritual who you are. And of course, harnessing force and harnessing energy through honoring your ancestors and through honoring particular deities and particular equations that bring forth the energy of these deities, or the cosmic energy behind the configuration of the deity itself. A lot of y'all think these deities are actually real people, and in a way that's a good thing, because everyone's not supposed to know the secret, right? But those that do know better know that the deities are nothing but molecular structures, nothing but cosmic representations, nothing but sigils, nothing but hieroglyphs of certain energy, of certain frequency, of certain vibration. And when you use this formula of Oshun or Hathor, let's say, or Heru, green and gold, right, you get more joy. You're able to attract lovers, right? You're able to become more artistic, so to speak, right? Well, not so to speak. You're able to do these things when you tap into that particular energy. You're able to become more charming, right? That's the formula. But yellow and green also have sounds behind the colors. That's why people like Pharrell and Beyonce, they see sound in color. It's called synesthesia. So as we go down this journey and go down this rabbit hole and do these rituals for the things that we want, and I'll be doing one too, and I'm gonna be going live again, probably this evening. So look out for that. I'll be going live again, and we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna give a simple ritual that we all could do as a collective, just a family, right? Those of us that tune in, we do this ritual together, and it's gonna be easy, right? And we tap in to a lot of things as a collective. And this is how you use energy among those that are part of your tribe, right? You gather energy. The same way that y'all always make these videos and say, the Illuminati sacrificed this person, the Illuminati sacrificed this person, Chadwick Boseman and Kobe and this and that. Whether they did or they didn't, that's up to you. That's up to you to decide. or if they are harnessing energy, and if they are vamping energy, and if they are stealing energy, then instead of decoding it and just complaining about it, I would want to know how they did it. You know what I'm saying? I would. My goal, once I understood that, I was like, oh shit. So my main mission is to understand how they did that. Right? It is not hard, right? All you need is a picture and a candle. You know what I'm saying? But and the intent to harness, right, and the right frequency. And you could literally hack into anyone and anyone's frequency in the universe. You can hack into people when people die. You can hack into people that are protesting. You can hack into people that are presidential candidates. You can hack on to people that are hot in the news. Everyone has an energetic resonance. We are all radioactive. Everyone has a frequency that you can hack into and harness. But the key to hacking and harness it is you have to be, as the Commission said, pure of heart. And being pure of heart does not mean being a saint. It does not mean not doing anything wrong. What it does mean is being a person of principles, being what the Commissions call a nobleman, right? We have Prophet Noble Drew Ali, being a person that is noble, like a Haile Selassie would be considered a noble. Malcolm X would be considered a noble, right? Noblemen, men that were intelligent but strong, but warriors, right? Fred Hampton, Huey P. You know what I'm saying? Noblemen. You know what I'm saying? People who were, well, I don't know about Huey P. They said, he had some issues with women, but as far as I know, Fred Hampton, nobleman, you know what I'm saying, before he was cut down. These are the people that are classy, Bumpy Johnson, nobleman, you know what I'm saying, gangsters about their business, right, but can handle business with class. We're well-read, played chess, were good with women, respected women, made sure they were safe, protected women, right, noblemen and noble women, with class, freaks in the bed, and did, probably all type of nasty things behind closed doors, but in front, right, out in the street, show class, dignity, regalia, charm, right? We're great at negotiation, right? Also sly. These are the women that we had, the Queen Ties and the Hatshepsuts, right? So the Nefertitis, right? Powerful women, right? Even as far and as recent as Dr. Frances Press Welsing. So these are the characters. These are the characters of people that I look up to. You know what I'm saying? People that display nobility. People that display high character. You know what I'm saying? People that look like and act like that they're striving to make the planet better. Through not only knowledge, not only wisdom, not only understanding, but through their own culture, through their own life, through the way that they live, right? Seeing them become abundant. So the goal is to become the magic. The goal is to become the magic. The goal is to tap into the darkness within self, to tap into the dark matter that you are, to tap into this carbon that you are, to tap into all these elements that you are through light and sound, through perception, and through selection, through words and images, through passion and power, through passion and picture. This world is a light and sound show, and light and sound is basically provided by energy. And once you are able to rise above the light and sounds that you are fed, because see, and I'm gonna close this soon, but see, the whole intention of this world, the way this world has been given to us, this world is really about tapping into your inner animal, tapping into your R complex, your reptilian brain, tapping into your limbic brain as well, and using these two particular brains, because you have really three brains. You have your frontal lobe, which is right here. You have your limbic brain, which is in the middle, and you have your reptilian brain, your R complex, your cerebellum brainstem, and also going down to your spinal cord. So that's why you see Kundalini is shaped like a snake, it's shaped like an S, it's shaped like a spinal cord, because the energy traveling up your Kundalini is traveling up your spinal cord. So the whole goal of Western society and those that know better is about controlling that part of you, controlling your lower brain, controlling your inner animal. So once they control their inner animal, they control the animal in you. Now they control you. But they could only control you through your lower chakra. So that's why they use fear. That's why they use cunning. That's why they use certain verbiage to throw you off and keep you trapped in the left brain. That's why the Western society's way is words, right? Like, for instance, the live that I did the other day, I was thinking about cymatics, and I couldn't think of the word cymatics, but I could see cymatics. Like, I could see the sand on the black strip being moved by sound, but I couldn't remember the word, right? So the word, right, is always an intercessor for the truth, for the divine. The symbol is always stand in for the divine. That's why you have legalese, how they trap people in prison by using legalese, words that you don't understand. It's magic, it's word magic. It's very eight spear, right? It's very Sebekian. It's very what's the other? It's very a leg bias, very tricky, right? Very crossroadish, right? Very tricky on the negative side, right? So the goal is to not get caught up in your animal emotions, not get caught up in being pulled down by your likes and dislikes, but always doing what you truly need to do, because you have a subconscious that you have to program. Because for instance, you'll have an idea to say, I want to quit. Let's say you want to quit smoking or something, right? So you say, I want to quit smoking, and this is your idea. But in your subconscious, you've been loving smoking for years. You've been enjoying the time when you smoke. You've been waiting, right, all day to smoke a cigarette, right? This is the hardest thing. You have to now go in and program the subconscious on a repetitious basis through image and through sound to now take away that love, take away that passion from you. The same way that you repetitiously had to start to enjoy the smoke, because the nicotine takes time to latch on to your melanin. That's really why, and everyone has melanin in their body, but that's really why you're addicted to cigarettes, because of the nicotine attaching to the melanin in your body, to the phenomelanin. And so why that is happening, right? So you have to charge up a different thought. You have to charge up a different idea. You have to train the animal to respond a different way. The animal within you, the chemicals within you, the hormones within you. But this is something that only you could do. So while you're doing the rituals, while you're lighting the candles, while you're taking the baths, you also have to make physical moves to create this new reality. You also have to do physical things, make physical changes. This is why meditation is so important. This is why affirmation is so important. This is why visualization is so important. This is why sound and music is so important. This is even why ritual is so important. This is why having an altar is so important. One of the great things about having an altar is you always remember that there are those before you that have your back. And it gives you continuous hope, and it gives you continuous faith. But the main thing, in closing, I want to say is Oh, and the Sphinx in Kemet was all about taming that animal, all about going to the higher self and not being caught in emotions, not being caught in news stories, not being caught in the media, but being focused on attaining your higher self, being focused on attaining spiritual power, being focused on being an astral traveler, being a magician, being a wizard. But the ultimate wizardry, remember the first rule in the Kabbalion, is all is mental. So your job really on this path, if you are following the middle path, not a left, not a right, but going through the middle path, through the path of Da'at, and turning yourself into a pillar of salt, right? Which is what that whole Lot story was about, right? Turning into a pillar of salt. But if you are binding back, religion, binding back into yourself, it is about going into the darkness, doing that shadow work, doing that daily work, morning and night, programming your daydreams, programming your thoughts, going into the darkness and doing the work. And once you're doing do the work in the darkness to train your animal, now take your dog for a walk, take your Anubis for a walk. Anubis is God in the underworld. So now you take that underworld to the walk. You take that underworld walking, you take your Anubis walking. And that is you as above, so below. As above, so below. As above in here, your third eye or your first eye, below the physical world, the body, the three-dimensional, right? Be the magic. Peace, power, prosperity.